How much XRP puts you in the untouchable top 0.01%? I'm going to give you the exact number, but I want to give you a second number too, the one that I actually think matters more. And that one is going to be genuinely shocking in a way the first number isn't, because the first number is just math. The second number is what the first number actually means when you think about it clearly, and that's where this gets interesting. Let's start with the verified data. The XRP ledger has approximately 7.85 million activated wallet addresses as of early 2026. That's up roughly 30% from about 6 million wallets in late 2024, driven by regulatory clarity and the launch of spot XRP ETFs in November last year. Across all those wallets, on-chain data from XRP Scan and multiple analytics firms confirms a specific tier structure. The top 10% requires holding somewhere between 2,200 and 2,486 XRP. The top 5% requires between 7,745 and 8,000 XRP. The top 1% requires somewhere between 46,323 and 48,087 XRP. The top 0.01%, the tier in the title, the Untouchable Club, requires a minimum of approximately 3.83 million XRP, as confirmed by multiple independent on-chain snapshots taken across different points in 2025 and 2026, with minor variation between them depending on the exact date and methodology. 3.83 million XRP. At today's price of roughly $1.05, that's a position worth approximately $4,017,000, a $4 million position in a single cryptocurrency. And there are fewer than 800 wallets in the entire world that meet that bar. Fewer than 800 wallets out of 7.85 million activated addresses on the entire ledger. Now, here's the first layer of the shock, and it's not the number itself, it's the slope of the curve getting there. To go from the top 10%, which only requires 2,200 XRP, to the top 1%, you need 46,300 XRP. That's a roughly 21 times jump in coin count for a 9 percentage point move up the percentile ladder. From the top 1% to the top 0.1%, you need to go from 46,000 to somewhere around 300,000 XRP. That's another 6 to 8 times jump. And from the top 0.1% to the top 0.01%, you go from 300,000 to 3.83 million XRP, another 13 times jump. The curve isn't linear, it's almost vertical at the top. Each step up the percentile ladder requires not a little more, not a lot more, but an order of magnitude more in XRP, compressed into fractions of a percentage point of the total holder base. And there's a useful way to visualize what this curve actually means in practice. Imagine you lined up all 7.85 million XRP wallet addresses by size, from the smallest to the largest. The first 7 million wallets in that line, roughly 90% of everyone, hold fewer than 2,200 XRP. The next 400,000 wallets, roughly the 5 to 10% band, hold between 2,200 and 8,000 XRP. You've now accounted for 95% of all wallets, and you're only at 8,000 coins. The next roughly 300,000 wallets, the 1 to 5% band, hold between 8,000 and 46,000 XRP. You're now at 99% of all wallets, and the highest in this group is 46,000 coins. Then the last 1%, 76,000 wallets, starts at 46,000 and spans all the way to 3.83 million at the very top. The entire 1% occupies a range from 46,000 to nearly 4 million. That spread within just the top 1% is larger than the entire range covered by the bottom 99% of holders. The top of the distribution is so compressed in wallet count and so spread in coin count that almost all of XRP's measurable wealth concentration happens within a sliver of wallets that represents less than 1 in 1,000 of all accounts. That's the mathematical shock. The social shock is something else entirely. Let me tell you the second number, the one I think matters more than 3.83 million. Fewer than 800 wallets globally are in the top 0.01% of XRP holders. That's the raw on-chain number. Now let's ask a different question. How many of those fewer than 800 wallets belong to actual human beings? Because here's what the data tells you when you look at who those wallets belong to. The biggest wallets on the XRP ledger, by a substantial margin, are Ripple's own escrow addresses, 6 escrow wallets each holding 5 billion XRP apiece, plus Ripple's operational wallets. Those aren't individuals. Then come the major exchange cold wallets. Binance holds over 1.8 billion XRP in a single address. Uphold, Bithumb, and other exchanges all have massive pooled custody wallets that each represent the collective deposits of thousands or millions of retail customers, not one person's personal stack. And then there's the institutional custodian layer, wallets holding XRP on behalf of ETF products, like the 7 spot XRP ETFs that launched in November last year, with Goldman Sachs alone disclosing a $153.8 million position across 4 XRP ETFs in its fourth quarter 2025 filing. Goldman Sachs, Millennium Management, Citadel, all disclosed as top ETF holders, all of them likely appearing somewhere in the upper tier of that wallet distribution, representing institutional capital across multiple accounts and products, not individual humans who personally chose to hold that many XRP in a self-custody wallet. So the actual number of individual human beings, flesh and blood people who woke up one morning and decided to accumulate over 3.83 million XRP into wallets they personally control, is almost certainly a small fraction of those fewer than 800 wallets. Some analysts who study the XRP ledger specifically estimate that the realistic number of genuine individual human holders at the top 0.01 tier, excluding exchanges, Ripple itself, institutional custodians, and ETF vehicles, might be in the dozens, not hundreds, dozens. That's the second number, the one that reframes the question entirely. Because when you understand that the 800 wallets headline includes Binance's custody wallet, representing millions of customers, Ripple's own treasury, and Goldman Sachs's ETF position, the question changes from how do I get into the top 0.01% to something much more interesting. What does it actually mean to be a genuine human being with a personal self-custody position that puts you in that tier? And what's the realistic path to something meaningfully close to it, even if not that specific number? Let's put this in real purchasing power terms, because I think the numbers become genuinely clearer when you connect them to things people actually understand. 3.83 million XRP at $1.05 is about $4 million. That's the price of entry into the top 0.01% nominally. But let's think about what that actually means across different price scenarios, because the number of tokens matters more than the dollar value today if you believe the institutional adoption thesis is playing out over the next several years. At $5 XRP, 3.83 million tokens is worth $19.15 million. You'd have crossed from wealthy into what financial planners categorize as high net worth by some definitions, or genuinely ultra high net worth territory, depending on your other assets. At $10, that same position is worth $38.3 million. That's the kind of number that changes not just your life, but the trajectory of people around you, real generational impact territory. At $20, 3.83 million XRP is worth $76.6 million, a sum that would put you in the same room, in terms of net worth, with the lower end of what gets classified as centimillionaire status. Now, I want to be explicitly clear, I'm not predicting $5, $10, or $20 XRP. Nobody can tell you with certainty whether any of those numbers arrives, or when, or whether it holds if it does. What I'm doing is showing you the relationship between the token count and the outcome across scenarios, which is the only honest way to run this kind of analysis, because the outcome depends on both variables, how many tokens you hold and what price they reach. But here's what's genuinely interesting about this exercise. The tier below the top 0.01%, the top 0.1%, requires only around 295,000 to 369,000 XRP. At today's price, that's a position worth roughly $310,000 to $388,000, a third to a fourth of $1,000,000. That's genuinely meaningful, but not completely unreachable for someone who's been accumulating seriously for several years, especially if they got in at lower prices. And at that tier, you're still in a group of only 7,500 wallets globally, out of 7.85 million total wallets. 7,500 wallets, that means you're ahead of 99.9% of every wallet address on the entire XRP ledger. And that context needs the same honesty check I applied to the top 0.01%. Some of those 7,500 wallets are sub-accounts of exchanges and institutions too. The actual number of individual humans sitting in that top 0.1% tier through genuine self-custody positions is smaller than 7,500. Not by the same extreme proportion as the very top, but meaningfully smaller. Which means the real number of individual humans who've built their way into what we genuinely call elite XRP holder status in any tier above the top 0.1% is probably somewhere between a few thousand and a few tens of thousands of people globally, out of an estimated 18 to 25 million people worldwide who hold XRP in some form, including through exchange accounts. Let me put that in another frame. 18 to 25 million people globally own XRP in some form. A few thousand to a few tens of thousands of them, by some estimates, hold positions that would place them in the top 0.1% through actual self-custody. That's somewhere between 0.01% and 0.1% of all XRP owners globally who've accumulated to that level through personal, deliberate accumulation. The vast majority of XRP holders are nowhere near these tiers, and most of them don't even know where they sit in the distribution because they've never actually looked it up. The practical implication of all this isn't go buy $4 million of XRP right now. That's not a realistic takeaway for most people watching a video. The practical implication is something more useful. Where you actually sit in this distribution is probably significantly higher than you assume because the baseline for majority of XRP holders is shockingly low. Roughly 2,200 XRP puts you in the top 10% of all wallet addresses. At today's prices, that's about $2,300. That's the top 10% entry point. Anyone who's been accumulating XRP for even a year or two with any consistency at all is very likely sitting in the top 10 or top 20% of XRP wallet addresses without even realizing it. And the distribution curve tells you something important about the nature of what you're holding. The steep, almost vertical curve from the top 1% to the top 0.01% reflects the reality that XRP's true concentration of on-chain supply sits in a genuinely small number of wallets, most of which are institutional or infrastructure wallets rather than individual people. Below that extreme concentration, the retail distribution is actually relatively broad. Lots of people holding modest amounts, a smaller but meaningful number holding mid-sized positions, and then a sudden vertical drop to the exchange and Ripple wallets at the very top. What that curve means for the institutional thesis is worth sitting with separately. The fact that Goldman Sachs, Millennium Management, and Citadel are already in the holder distribution through ETF exposure. The fact that 7 spot XRP ETFs have collectively pulled in over $1.5 billion in cumulative inflows since November. The fact that Goldman specifically disclosed a position of $153.8 million means the institutional money is coming thesis is not entirely future tense. It's happening in the ETF wrapper through vehicles that show up in the holder distribution even if they don't show up as individual self-custody wallets on the XRP ledger directly. When you look at the top tier of that rich list and see what feels like very concentrated ownership, some meaningful chunk of it is actually the beginning of institutional allocation that's only been possible since late 2025. And here's a detail about the wallet growth itself that I find genuinely interesting in this context. The XRP ledger grew by about 30% in activated wallet count between late 2024 and early 2026. That's not 30% more XRP. That's 30% more people activating wallets, committing the 10 XRP minimum reserve, and entering the ecosystem. As more people enter, and as each person entering raises the total number of wallets, the absolute coin count required to stay in the same percentile tier gradually drifts upward. It's been modest movement so far. The thresholds haven't changed dramatically, but the direction is clear. The longer you wait to accumulate, the more XRP it takes to hit any given tier, because the denominator of total wallets keeps growing, while the total supply of XRP is fixed. Fixed. That's the word worth ending on. 100 billion XRP, total, ever. No more can be created. No inflation mechanism, no new issuance, no protocol change that could authorize more. It's a fixed supply distributed across a growing number of wallets, with institutional capital now entering through regulated ETF channels that didn't exist since last year, and with the DTCC's planned tokenized securities integration on Stellar and the broader institutional settlement infrastructure building out around networks like XRP Ledger, creating real, structural, non-speculative demand for these tokens at a level that didn't exist in any previous cycle. The shock in the title is real, but it's not the shock you probably expected. It's not that 3.83 million XRP is a huge number that feels unreachable. It's that the 800 wallets holding that amount include Binance's custody account, Ripple's treasury, and Goldman's ETF position, and the number of actual individual human beings who've personally accumulated to that level in self-custody might be in the dozens, not hundreds, not thousands, dozens. And you, watching this, holding whatever you hold, are almost certainly higher in the distribution than you think, among a group of individual human holders that is far smaller than 18 to 25 million makes it sound. If seeing the full picture of who's actually in each tier instead of just the headline coin count is more useful to you than the raw number in the title, hit like on this one. It genuinely helps put this kind of honest, sourced analysis in front of more people, instead of the version that just tells you the number and lets you assume the rest. Subscribe if you want this level of detail on the XRP holder distribution as it keeps evolving, because the wallet count grew 30% in about a year and the ETF inflow data keeps moving, and both of those things shift the picture. Drop a comment and tell me, after seeing who's actually in that top 0.01% club, does knowing those wallets are mostly exchanges and Ripple change how you think about concentration risk? Or does the institutional ETF entry by Goldman and Millennium actually make you more comfortable with where the supply sits? And if you know somebody who's been assuming they're a tiny retail holder with no significance in the XRP ecosystem without ever actually looking up where they rank in the distribution, send them this video. The answer will probably shock them more than the $4 million number at the top.